Hello again, everyone. It's Randy, your sewing machine man. And what we're looking at is a Kenmore. Yes, we love Kenmores, but this one right here, oh my gosh, the Kenmore 14 stitch. This is the 158 decimal 17812. And I tell you, folks, make sure you go out there and get you one of the front load 15 class 158 series. Well, this is a 158 series. It's got the top drop-in bobbin, and it's got the plastic feed gears. The reason I tell people to be wary of these is because those issues sometimes will cause big problems. This one's kind of unique in that the young lady I talked to her, she drove 300 miles one way, 600 miles round trip. After I get it back to her tomorrow, be a 600-mile round trip to get this machine serviced because nobody else could do it. And I told her I'd give it a look. Normally I wouldn't, but I thought, well, maybe the feed gear is not broken. And it was nice to look under here and see that the feed gear, in fact, was not broken. Not broken, not cracked. Okay, well, it does, you know, these get issues when they sit for a while. You know, I tell people to turn the hand wheel and see if they feel a tightness when it gets to that crack, and you will. But if the thing won't turn, then you can't do that. So we can't always troubleshoot them. I told her bring it by, we'll take a look. You know, no harm, no foul. If we can't get it going, no problemo. If we can get it going, you know, it'll be great. So no broken gear. Of course, when I look in these and then I see what has to happen next, you look inside the bobbin case area, and it's got one of these cool little bobbin cases, and I use the word cool out of context, but it's anything but cool. It's one of these tricky little guys, but you got to put your screwdriver in the slot over on the right hand side and catch the little red marking on the white insert. Let me get a little closer so you can see this, because this is worthy of note. This would drive you crazy if you don't know the combo, how to get this baby out of here. It's got the bobbin case sits in. You have to put this screwdriver down inside here and catch this little red indicator. There's a little slot there. You catch it and you flip it over like that, and you see the white becomes exposed, little red line. Then you go to the other side and you reach in and you see that little red, and you snap it over, and at that point you lift this out very gingerly. Make sure everything's out of the way. Make sure your feeders are out of the way and your followers are out of the way. And if you touch it with your finger and kick that back over, you'll defeat it. It's persnickety, yeah, pain on the whatever, yeah, but it comes out, and it's like 3 layers of bobbin case put together with a couple screws. And normally when I get these, people are kind enough to give me the Ziploc bag that it's in, because they've taken it apart and it's all the pieces and the springs, and oh my gosh. But if it's all there and they didn't lose it, I can get it back together. These are not readily available. If you have one of these machines and it's working, always find one of these, eBay, online, wherever. Get another one, have it, because it's plastic and they'll develop cracks down here in the bottom. And if it's a nick or a scratch, you can polish it out. But if it's got a crack, it's JB Weld time and a whole lot of sculpting with a file. And I've done it, it can be done, but it's, oh my gosh, what a pain. So if you got one of these, the 158, 17812, and everything's working, have one of these in escrow, because when you go to order it, you won't find it. They're hard to find. You know, give yourself 6 months and round one up, you might get one. Of course, this one had an issue like they do when they sit for a while, is the feeders would not go, let's see, they wouldn't go down. The feeders wouldn't go down. The feeders are supposed to go up and down. You know, when the needle is out of the fabric, the feeders come up and feed the fabric. When the needle's in the fabric, you see they go down. Well, I made it do that because I got out the trusty, always to be reliable and dependable stuff we call super penetrant. Oh my gosh, I buy this by the case. And my wife says I should wear a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, scuba, in order to breathe in my shop. Sometimes she comes in and she goes, oh man, you got to air this place out. Well, I would, but it's 108 outside, so I'll just have to breathe a little of it. 50 years later, I think I'll be all right. But anyhow, the feeders would not go down. So you got to flip that baby over, and you have to soak everything that's connected to anything down underneath here, all up in here. And I'm talking to people online. They go, how do I get it to feed? It won't feed because the feeders don't go down, so it just scuffs back and forth. The fabric doesn't move, and it's maddening. So down under here, you got to soak it real good. When I say soak it, I put a rag underneath this, and I make sure it just gets super soaked. And then I'll run it with my screwdriver. I'll put my screwdriver off to the side, like so, on that bolt head of the feeders on the back. And I'll push down, and I'll run that thing. Let me undo the needle here so I don't jam. And I'll run that thing like so. See if I can get it to go here. Oh, I unplugged it. Yeah, let's plug it back in, see how that works. Yeah. And push down on that bolt head on the back, and I'll push down on that until it starts moving. And sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes forever. You keep pushing down on that back bolt on the back left-hand side. Not enough pressure to break it, but just enough to coax it to go up and down. And eventually, it'll start going up and down, and you've got that problem solved. With this thing, it's one thing and another. This one actually turned out well. It's going to have a happy ending, but good Lord, went forever without being serviced. Everything in the world was wrong with it. This was not broken. The feed gear was not broken. So it's going to have a happy ending. It's going to be working, and the lady's going to take it back 300 miles in the other direction, and probably by this time tomorrow night, she'll be sewing. So, just so you know, if you find one of these, oh, Randy said something about a 158, and he said something about it being a Kenmore, and oh, buddy, front load, 15 class, not a top load, 15 class, front load. They have the little flap that comes down, and the bobbin goes into a bobbin case and snaps in. That's a 158, 15 class front load. Get one of those. If you get one of these and everything works and has a happy ending like this one, it's a 1 in a million. And I'm so happy that it's going to be great for her, because after she's going to do the 600-mile drive, she'll be rewarded with a Kenmore that's going to last her a while. But if you can skip one of these, skip it. And if you got one, get an extra bobbin case, and don't tempt that plastic gear by sewing on denim and stuff like that. But this is the Kenmore 158, 17812, the 14 stitch. Buyer beware. Thanks.